Okay.
I'm told by people who work in
AE, we have AI.
Reporter shouted that question.
There's no way you could do that on purpose.
Say whatever that was.
Okay.
Oh, he just reads off the all.
I was in Queens and
around that.
originally his comment was Rick Harris is 8 years older than me, so 8 years after Rick Harris does it over.
Examining.
8 years became about 5 years.
When someone read the chair,
I don't want to say.
you're doing nice.
Be careful what you ask for, you may get it. Yeah.
Neil, you feeling Superman today?
They're not gonna substitute him for Kamala Harris.
Not common.
I can try.
Okay.
Michelle?
They might do that if she wanted to run.
She'll win.
She might win, yeah. So, she's gonna like Trump, that's for sure.
The polls seem to say otherwise right now.
He's a Nate.
Well, polls seem to have him like at 98% right now.
Popularity?
With
No.
electoral college votes.
No, please, don't be ridiculous.
Wow.
Ridiculous, okay?
Take a look at all the pollsters.
No.
Okay, good morning.
The poll stick looks like a
Saved by the bell.
Rather, hear what I said? It's not what the poll stick, it's what the.
We'd like to thank everybody for coming. This week's share actually has 2 dedications. Firstly, the share is dedicated by the Lichtmans for the 27th yahrzeit of Harvey's father tonight, Dal Tziva, and Shamash Avin Aliyah. Also, Yerach Milberger dedicated the share Leon Nishmas by Dr. Abba Goldman, who was an amazing story of a person who changed his life as a college professor, took off a year to a sabbatical to sit and learn in yeshiva, and basically never left. Amazing story.
Who did that?
This Rabbi Dr. Abba Goldman, a young Harvard-educated professor that left something in common with the Lichtmans, left the University of Madison, Wisconsin.
I went to Milwaukee.
Okay.
That's not as liberal as
Yeah.
Who financed it? That would be Mike.
I think his wife, dedicated wife. Shama should definitely be an aliyah.
They say there's a tremendous amount of counseling for the boys.
Yes. Now today's topic is connected with Shavuos, but with a little flavor of a personality. Earlier this year, we did a share at the Vilna Gaon's Seder. So from Pesach to Shavuos, we know there's a connection. So today's share is called the Vilna Gaon's Hilchos Talmud Torah. And really what I tried to do today, and this share is just a tip of the iceberg, the Vilna Gaon, just to give a little brief introduction, we all know the Gra was a figure, a generational figure. The Gra classically is termed an Achron, more of the later generation of great rabbinic figures, but many held that his stature was so great he could have been counted amongst the Rishonim literally generations earlier. That's how great the Torah knowledge of the Gra was. It's known that he went through all of Shas before he was even a bar mitzvah boy. Even in his secular world, the Gra is known for one of his mathematical theorems. Also, they say he developed, before his bar mitzvah.
Did they give him smicha as bar mitzvah?
Right, quite a present. But I think he gave people smicha at his bar mitzvah. The Gra was just such a figure beyond, and he knew Torah backwards and forwards. We know a lot about the Gra through his student Chaim Volozhin, who established really the mother of the modern day yeshivas, the Volozhin Yeshiva. And really so much of our Torah today could be directly traced back to the Gra. One of the most amazing things of the Gra is he did write in Kol Torah. There's a lot of the Gra on Chumash. Nowadays are coming out new, more and more versions of the Gra, Perush HaGra on Chumash. The Gra was known to be able to trace Torah back to its original sources. So in the Chumash, you could have a Perush also on Kol Torah. His beer on Shulchan Aruch, throughout the Shulchan Aruch, by every halacha, the Gra will show you the source in very brief, succinct language. Will show the source of any halacha, and there's so much depth. We'll perhaps see a few of these today, where the Gra shows the source, and the question is why did the Gra pick that Gemara versus that Gemara? Might be multiple sources, the same thing. There's a lot of Torah understanding the Gra's beer on Shulchan Aruch. And today's share, what we did was we collected different elements, sources of the Gra in general on the topic of Talmud Torah, and we'd like to present a few of them today. That's the basic plan that we'd like to go about for today's share. But again, obviously whatever we show is just a drop in the bucket. I would single out one sefer in particular, which I use, obviously besides the Bir HaGra and Shulchan Aruch. Rav Sternbach, the Poskei Hador, today's generation, is actually a great-great-grandson of the Gra, and he writes a lot about the Gra. In general, he favors his mishpacha and writes a lot. He wrote a particular sefer, very interesting, Hanhagas HaGra, Hilchos HaGra U'Minhagav. And he goes through many different things of the Gra. There's a similar sefer, not the same, of Ma'aser Rav, of stories of what the Gra did, authoritative, multiple versions of that. But there's definitely a lot of the Gra. The Gra is such a famous figure. There's a lot talked about it. So today, we'll focus on the Gra and Talmud Torah. So if you look on your sheets, the Gra holds a very interesting shita when it comes to Birchas HaTorah, and really the mitzvah of Talmud Torah itself. I think it's a good place to start. You look at the Aleph, this is Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, Siman Mem Zayin, HaMahara b'divrei Torah, Yotzei HaMitzvah Saseh. According to the Gra, if you think about divrei Torah without speaking out the words, you're Yotzei the mitzvah. Dihira b'divrei Torah, b'Talmud Torah, Kidibur Mamash Dami. It's an equivalency. Thinking about Torah is on the same level as speaking Torah. That's what the Gra holds. Now, Sternbach goes on to explain why this is so. This is a bechiddush. Most other poskim hold that you only make Birchas HaTorah for speaking divrei Torah. The Gra says, even if you just think divrei Torah, you would already be making a bracha. What's the reason? So Sternbach explains, you have to say the pshat is that the main part of learning is not saying the words. It's thinking about them, understanding it. That's the main part of Limud Torah. Sometimes people could be under the impression, for example, a person who reads Tehillim. You are reading words of Torah, it's part of Tanakh. But the Gra puts down the main part of Torah is thinking about Torah, which by definition comes with understanding Torah. Because if you say that the mitzvah of Sternbach proves is really just speaking Torah, but hearer is also a mitzvah. Okay, so they made a bracha on Dibur, they wouldn't make a bracha on thinking. Because normally, moreover, we consider speaking an action, while thinking is a non-action. It's not an action of thinking. So the fact that the Gra says you can make a bracha on thinking divrei Torah, that means that Torah itself, the mitzvah of Limud Torah, is the mitzvah of thinking. Obviously, speech also is part of the mitzvah. But you therefore make a full bracha just on thinking. Yes?
So this makes it hard on us in the morning when we get up, because sometimes you're not speaking Torah and you're getting dressed before you start, but a thought comes to mind.
Yes. Now, I was debating when should I use the next part that I was going to talk on this topic. I think I should go to this now. This is legit. This is written by Rabbi Chaim Volozhin himself. In the Akdama to a Kabbalah Sefer, Sifra de Tenusa, Rabbi Chaim Volozhin writes the following. One time he was by the Gra, and he looked not as happy as he normally did. The Gra was a jolly fellow. But one day he didn't look as jolly. And the Talmidim, shepherded him. Rebbe, what's going on? Why is it? So after being shepherded a lot, he told them, because last night Eliyahu Navi came to him and taught him Torah. Okay. Then, in the morning, he was up, and was continuing thinking about what he just learned from Eliyahu Navi. But what happened was, since he thought about them before he made Berachos Torah, he forgot it. So here Eliyahu Navi came from the Shemayim, taught him Torah. The girl was so excited about it. He thought about it before he made a Berachos Torah. And next thing he knew, he forgot it. Now, he does say the story was that B'shas HaTfilah, he was misgaber on himself just to focus on davening, and he didn't think about it, and then it came back to him. But the Chaim Volozhin says, according to the way it's written over here, that you see from here the big Inyan, or at least the Gra, the Shitaso, that you can't make Berachos Torah, you can't think Torah until you make a Berachos Torah. So thus it would be important, as quickly as possible, a person should make a Berachos Torah in the morning. Now, again, not everybody's on the level of the Gra that you can forget your Eliyahu Navi Torah. I did once hear a different version. I'm not sure it's the same story, a different story, that the Gra also turned down future opportunities of what they call Gilei Eliyahu, or Malachim teaching him Torah, because he felt that the main element of learning Torah is working on it. And if he's getting things revealed to him from Shemayim, that's cheating. He wanted to work hard. So thus, he turned down such opportunities. Again, for sure the first story is right there in print by Rabbi Chaim Volozhin, obviously from the Kabbalah Sefer. But the girl was legit having these friends. Reb Henach used to always talk about the Gra. The Gra lamented he didn't really have friends. He was head and shoulders above everybody else. But okay, Eliyahu Navi tried to be his friend, but the Gra wasn't used to friends. He shunned them away. But that's one other element of Hira Divrei Torah. Another practical shaila, as Hashem will come up, some of us, Shavuos morning. So you're up the whole night. What does one do in the morning? Do you make a Berachos Torah? Not famous, classic. It's just to go through the simple Gra. The Gra holds you could not make a bracha in the morning. There was no hefsek. There are those that say that Berachos Torah is just like all the other Berachos HaShachar. So once it's a new day, once a new day dawns, you could make those brachas. The Gra is in the position to know Berachos Torah is a bracha on a mitzvah. It's a bracha on a mitzvah which will last until a person has a hefsek. Going to sleep at night is a hefsek. But if you don't go to sleep, so then you have an issue. So, okay, now this played through. The Gra holds, it sounds like, from my quick going through the sugya of the Gra, sounds like he holds you definitely would not make a bracha. We talk about a suffix issue. According to us, if we do hold it a suffix, Lashita Sagra, you have to be careful not to think about the Torah until you have someone to mimo to you. It's interesting, the Gra himself, on a daily basis, slept, they say, 4 half-hour slots. That's all he did. He didn't eat much, and he didn't sleep much. He slept 4 half-hour slots. Now, or maybe just under a half hour. So it could be I don't know how the Gra's Berachos Torah worked. When was he himself making Berachos Torah? He was not in Hefsek. He was up most of the night. It's not by those half hours. Did he hold that to be a Hefsek? And how many times did he make a Berachos Torah then? Each sleep was under half hour, one was more than half hour. So I'm not sure myself how and when the Gra made Berachos Torah on a daily basis, according to this. Yes? Any other points? So that's area number 1 about the Gra. That thinking Divrei Torah is the mitzvah itself. The main mitzvah is understanding it. You make a brach on hearer. And a few interesting stories in that. Let's go to halacha number 2. Talmud Torah on the Gra. This is quite famous. Everyone knows this one. If you look in Beis, this is from Shnos Eliyahu, Vilna Gaon's parish on Mishnayos Peah. Talmud Torah chashuva mikol mitzvos. Talmud Torah is considered more chashuv than all other mitzvos. Shebechol teva v'teva shalomein mekayim mitzvos aseh. Every word a person learns, that itself is a mitzvah aseh of Talmud Torah. L'chein l'mashal. Halomi daf gemara mekayim meos mitzvah aseh. If you do the daf, then you get hundreds of mitzvahs aseh. For the record, there's a listing of things the Gra recommends. The Gra actually recommended, he was a few generations above Meir Shapiro, he recommended 2 daf daily. Okay, obviously, at the time, in our generation, we hack, 1 daf might be too quick. But the Gra recommended 2 a day, 2 a days. But the Gra says every daf gemara you learn is hundreds of mitzvahs. L'chein, l'hot levato mitorah afilu mitzvah el kshiyev shedeacha. The Gra continues into this, a very important yesod. We normally hold Talmud Torah as keneged kulam, to the extent that we say osik b'mitzvah is pater min a mitzvah. And we would not be mevatel Talmud Torah normally for any other mitzvah unless there's no one else to do that mitzvah. Now this is an important idea, and there are different reasons behind this. Yes?
This is actually extrapolated to a business concept that's taught generally.
Yeah.
Don't spend your time doing something that somebody else could be doing.
Smart. Yes, that definitely sounds very, very orderly. But the Gra's accounting cheshbon, for the accountants over here, is very simple. Every mitzvah of the Torah, let's say you schwitz and you carry a couch to some old lady's house that needs a new couch. You got one for her. You schwitz on a hot, humid Florida day. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you get credit for every sweat that you have in terms of Mesiras Nefesh for the mitzvah. But in terms, end of the day, of the mitzvah of chesed, there's one mitzvah of chesed for those 3 hours of work, schlepping the couch there. As opposed to Talmud Torah, accounting just goes like this. Every word of Torah is a mitzvah. So that means if you're spending 3 hours learning versus 3 hours doing one chesed, you're accumulating so many more mitzvahs just by learning. And therefore the Gra says that's why we say Talmud Torah is keneged kulam. Now, yes.
There's a cloud that you don't know the schar for each mitzvah.
Excellent.
Like,
that's true.
You don't know.
That's true. We don't know the schar in terms of what that picture means, what I get for each mitzvah I do. But we do know in accounting what are considered mitzvahs. So the Gra is qualifying, and that's what he does over here in the Mishnah Peah, is that every word of Torah is a mitzvah. I'll tell you even more than that. My Rebbe's Rebbe, Reb David Leibowitz, learned B'chavris with the Chavetz Chaim. And when they were writing the Mishnah Berurah together, the Chavetz Chaim told him following additional point on this Gra. The Gra says every word of Torah is considered a mitzvah. What counts as a word? let's say I'm reading a sefer nowadays. So let's say it's an English sefer, every English word is another mitzvah. So the Chavetz Chaim writes the following, or they say, Chavetz Chaim says, look, if you have an author who is extremely medactic in every word he wrote, so then every word he wrote has a din of Divrei Torah, and you get a mitzvah for every word. Thus, Rav David Leibowitz testified, Yaakov Kamenetsky used to say this over, is that every word of the Mishnah Berurah is that type of sefer, where every single word the Chavetz Chaim wrote, he weighed, okay, how are people going to take this? How are people going to understand this? So every word of Shulchan Aruch and Mishnah Berurah that one reads, you get a mitzvah. So as long as so in the English sefer, we wouldn't necessarily say every word is, but every word, Hebrew sefer where it's weighed, probably mean the sefer like the Mishnah Berurah and greater svarim like that, generations earlier, every word of Arisha, for sure, every word of Bir HaGra is a mitzvah, and you just add it up. Yes?
So connecting the dots here, if you're going to spend the 3 hours to move the couch for the old lady because there is nobody else to do
Or
it,
if there's no one else to do it, that's a different
if
story.
you keep in mind for your downtime that you're not talking to anybody else, Divrei Torah, then you could be Yotzei both at the same
You
time.
could probably, that's a good point, especially in the Gruz world, where here Divrei Torah is fully the mitzvah, which everyone really says. But that, you could get big schar for that. Now again, there are other mitzvahs which you get rewarded for every step. For example, Rav Sternbuch asks, if you look in the bottom paragraph there, by Os Beis, V'nira shadam Torah adif mitfilin v'tzitzis shemakayim b'hem nami kol rega. Mitzvah say. Every moment a person wears a pair of tzitzis is a mitzvah. Every moment a person wears tefillin is a mitzvah.
He worked film all day.
Correct. The famous pictures, right? The Gra wore tefillin all day. Tzitzis, right? That's the famous story of the Gra on his deathbed. That he was crying about the fact in this world you could get mitzvah so easy. Just buy a pair of tzitzis, put it in your body, and you get mitzvahs. So, I was just walking the other day when I was in New York. I was walking in Queens. It wasn't an interaction. I just saw the person passing me. But I saw a person passing me. He was wearing a t-shirt that actually said in it the words Nova. He wasn't wearing a yarmulke, but he was clearly wearing tzitzis. Tzitzis were flying underneath his t-shirt. I wouldn't be surprised. Nova, that was where part of the massacre, October 7th, took place. So with somebody that after, there are a lot of stories all across Eretz Yisrael, that people after that event took upon themselves, more mitzvahs, and a lot of people started wearing tzitzis. This person wasn't yet wearing a yarmulke, but to be honest, yarmulke is only a minhag. But tzitzis is a mitzvah every moment you wear it. It's a big deal, very big deal. So, Rav Sternbuch asks, by those mitzvahs also, every minute you wear tzitzis, you get a mitzvah. So he writes, there's a difference though. The hasam akim b'sheva al tasa. There you're doing the mitzvah in a passive way. Aval b'lim al Torah b'kayim b'maisa b'gufo kol rega v'rega mitzvah say l'chein adif. Sounds like Rav Sternbuch is struggling to understand. Well, if the Gra just makes a simple accounting, the reason why Talmud Torah is kineged kulam is because there's more mitzvahs involved. So if that's so, because it's every moment, every word you say. That's so, I don't know, tefillin and kriyashma, tefillin and tzitzis, you get all the time. Every minute's on you. So to that, Rav Sternbuch makes a difference. Oh, well, that's a passive mitzvah, and this is a more active mitzvah. Okay. There definitely are others that would say Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam is because innately Talmud Torah is a greater mitzvah than everything else. Even put aside the counting book, how many mitzvahs you get. But within the Gra, where his argument, at least over here in the Maseches Peah, is purely an accounting cheshbon, because of the fact there's more mitzvahs involved. So to that, Rosh Hashanah is struggling. Okay, the mitzvahs involved in the other ones also.
So if you're just thinking Torah and not saying it, then it's equal with the wearing of the tzitzis.
Right. Oh, interesting. Very interesting point. Right? So leave with what you're bringing up is how do you view thinking Torah? Is that an action
You said it's
or not an action? Normally you're right. Normally we say there's two levels. There's an act of speaking Torah, but if it's not a dibur, if it's just a hearer, it's less than that. And that's why many poskim will say you do not make a bracha on thinking the Torah. But I wonder in the Gra's world, where the Gra says thinking is equivalent to speaking, doesn't mean that thinking is also like an action. Personally, I would say that when you're working on a hard piece of Torah and you're thinking about it, tell me the difference whether I verbalize it or not. The effort, the strain of your brain to follow and understand something, to me, that's just as much of an action as if I say it out. Now, it could be a lot of times people have thoughts in their mind and maybe saying it out concretizes even clearer. So maybe that you could tell me is more of an action. But thinking Divrei Torah takes a lot of brain power, a lot of stress. You know, the stories of people sweating in the dead of the winter thinking about Divrei Torah.
Yeah, I could never.
That, to me, right.
Yet they're in Florida, rather.
2 points to that one. I have to say the line in case someone missed it. I was talking about someone sweating in the dead of winter to Divrei Torah. So I have to know my place. They say, come on, Rabbi. In Florida, that could happen. To all of us. Okay, halavai. Okay, I want to show another interesting element in the Gra. The Gra in Hilchos connected with Talmud Torah. Hilchos covered a Rav. Covered for Rebbeim of Torah, teachers of Torah. So the Shulchan Aruch brings, this is Yeridea Simon Reish Membeis, that Kavod Rabbo comes before Kavod Aviv. If it's a question to show honor to one's Rebbe versus father, the Rebbe would come first. That's the halacha in Shulchan Aruch. What does the Gra use as a source for this? He brings a Mishnah at the end of Krisos. Now, you look at the Mishnah over there. Mishnah says, reading like the fifth line there, sixth line. Ha'av kodem la'eim b'chol makom. A father, honoring a father comes before a mother in all places. Yav ne'esh kibod ha'av kodem. V'lam ne'esh shneim shkulim. Ava'amu chachamim ha'av kodem la'eim b'chol makom. Ne'esh hu v'imo chayavim b'kavod aviv. The reason why a father comes before a mother is because the mother also has to honor the father. So if the father asks you to do something, the mother asks you to do something, look, your mom also has to honor your father, so therefore your father wins out. The father also owes a debt of gratitude, a debt of kavod to his son's Rebbe, and therefore the son should first honor the Rebbe, then the father. So it sounds like, from over here, really, there's no innate reason why a Rav would beat out a father. It's only because the father also owes a debt of gratitude, a debt of kavod to the Rebbe, similar to a father and mother, that the mother owes a debt of gratitude to the father, owes respect to the father. That's why a father comes before a mother.
Work for the father's rough too.
Yeah. But what's interesting is there's the Mishnah at the end of the second paragraph of Metzia gives a different reason. Gemara there talks about if you have two avedos, two lost objects, that can only return one. I don't know why this, we teach Bava Metzia. My father's baseball glove and my Rebbe's baseball glove. Who shall I return first?
It's a trick question. You just post on WhatsApp and ask if anyone else can do it.
So, halacha is your Rebbe comes first.
The Rebbe would
Oh, shh. Right.
Rebbe plays baseball.
Only a lot of Omer.
Come on,
Still
have you
living.
never heard the song?
Yeah. Actually, we went to campgrounds and I didn't play baseball. What a shame. But anyway, they didn't ask me. But I guess I'm washed up. Henach used to say you can only play baseball if you're still good at it. You can only play sports if you're still good. So I don't know. I think I can hit still, maybe. I lived through my kids, let them win the World Series today. But if you look over there in the Mishnah, at the end of Bamitzia, there the Mishnah says that a Rebbe precedes a father because the father brought him into this world. But the Rav, the Rebbe, brings him into the next world. So there, that implies that's an innate Milo that the Rebbe has over the father. Versus, we both have to do it. So I saw my dear friend, Rabbi Blusher, has a sefer in Hilchos Talmud Torah, and he asked this kasha, that how could the Gra bring as a source, why would he bring as a source? The Mishnah at the end of Krisos, there it's mashma that really the father and the Rebbe are the same. It's just, okay, the father has a debt of gratitude, he has to show respect, so that's why the Rebbe comes first. But if you look at the end of Bamitzia, there it implies, there it's clear, that there innately is a Milo. So what's Pshat in the Gra? Why the Gra quote this? Good question. He leaves it Tzarachin. He brought, I think, the Or Chaim in a sefer, gives an answer, but doesn't seem to fit so well. So the only thing is, interesting, in Yevamos, this whole idea, Atava Imecha Chai B'Kol Avicha, comes up in the Tosos. It's a nice little sugi over there. And I believe there's a few different ways that Achronim learn Pshat. We're looking at it that this svara, you and your mother have to honor your father, and you and your father have to honor your Rebbe, your Rav. That's svara innately puts you over the top. But I did see others that learn, it's not a siba, but rather a siman. That part and parcel of the reason why your father comes first could still also be because, or your Rebbe comes before your father, is because innately there's a mila to Rebbe over the father, which would explain the Mishnah in Bamitzia. Now, why the Gra chose between the two, Mishnah increases versus the one in Bamitzia, even if they're both saying the same thing, but it's more clear in Bamitzia, that I'm not sure. But in terms of the logic could be the same logic.
Not the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos.
What's that one?
The father, that the father brings the son into this world.
No, that's the same thing really as the Mishnah doesn't see it. It's really the
It
same.
just says it in two different places.
Now, it's interesting. I give a lot of credit to Rav Sternbach. When he's going through Hilchos Gra and Talmud Torah, so he goes through some, like we said, the Gra's Biurim on Shulchan Aruch. He uses that as a source. But he also finds other fascinating sources. For example, the Gra's Hakdama to Tikkunei Zohar. Okay, the Gra wrote on Kabbalah. Over there, for example, there he brings a halacha that even if you have a person who learns a lot of Torah, but he's very stingy when it comes to supporting Torah, so the Gra brings over there, that's the bad thing. And it's reflective he doesn't really love Torah, because if a person really loved Torah, it wouldn't just be an element of him learning it himself, but also would do his part to help support others. Sternbach also brings, I think beautifully, from the Gra's beer on Mishle. Gra wrote a beautiful, famous parish in Mishle. And there, he makes a point of saying that a person could be osik in many mitzvahs, but if he's not osik in Torah, it's not good. The Graz mashal, he says, it's like a person that eats all these delicacies, but he doesn't eat the staple of life, bread. My friend, Rav Shmuel Wasser, actually spoke yesterday in the Kollel, said the same point, but illustrated it with a beautiful Gemara. The Gemara with Rabbi Akiva, that when Akiva was teaching Torah, at the times the Romans made a decree against it. And they caught him, and they eventually caught him. But the Talmidim were asking, Rebbe, how come you're sacrificing your life to do this? So that's where he gave the famous mashal of the fish and the fox. Right? That the fish is swimming in the water and all the fishermen are trying to get the fish. So the fox sees the fish and says, Mr. Fish,
let's trade places.
Yeah, why don't you come out on the land? I'll take care of you. Why are you spending all the time in the water? They're going after you. So the fish said, Mr. Sly Fox, right? The moment I come on the land, I won't be able to breathe. I'll automatically die. In the water, at least I have a fighting chance, a swimming chance. I could make it. So, and that was Rabbi Akiva's mashal, that in the water, we need water to live. We need Torah to live. So, Rabbi Wasser pointed out, you would think, you see a person, you could keep 612 mitzvahs all the time, doing all these mitzvahs. He's makban and chol Yisrael. He has a nice beard, right? He davens 3 times a day with a minyan. Just doesn't learn. What would you say about the health of his Judaism? You'd say he's a good Jew. He's a healthy Jew. But the Gra is saying, the Mashal with Rabbi Akiva is saying, he's missing out his main nutrients. A fish can't survive without water. Jews in Torah is Jews in water. Really, that's such a powerful, important message to what Shavuos is. A Jew without Torah is okay. This is one of the things we do as a Jew. we go to Brisim. We eat bagels on Sundays. We go to shul. This. Okay, it's much more than that. Torah is such an essential. The Graz Lashon, it's your bread. The Kiva's mashal, it's water. And I think it ties in beautifully. I found in the bottom here. I only saw this last night, and it blew my mind. In the Sefer Ma'aser Rav, which again are first-hand accounts of things that people saw by their Rebbe, the Gra. If you look, U'ma'od Sameach Rabbeinu, V'tigdal lo hasimcha yos mikol regel. This is talking about the Gra's feelings on the Yom Tov of Shavuos. He was so happy more than any other Yom Tov. V'alo libo b'simchas matan Torah, v'herach b'shulchano b'machal nishto shvachim. And on his table, boy, he spent a lot of time with lots of good food, drink, and sing praises. Now, you look, this nice edition has a footnote, Kuf Yud Aleph. I thought of the same step. It's also known the Gra was super happy on Sukkot. You look in the bottom over here, the end of Sukkot, Simchas Torah, they would describe how the Gra would dance in Simchas Torah. Simcha Gedora, he would go in front of the Sefer Torah so happy. Chachmas Adam Torah Panav, Klapid Eish Bayer, it's almost like a burning fire, the joy in his face. He would constantly clap and dance with all his strength in front of a Sefer Torah. If you saw the Gra in Simchas Torah, you would think, this account, that was his happiest day of the year. But not in the happiest day of the year, they testify about the Gra was Simchas Torah, Yom Tov Shavuos. It's Matan Torah. Really, it's a Gemara in Pesachim. Ilav Hayoma Kama Yosi Ika B'Shokat. Gemara in Samachas. That if not for this day, how many other Joes are there in the street? And the Gra's Simcha, it seems, the Talmidim picked up, was palpable on the Yom Tov Shavuos. He was just so happy to find this is the day we got the Torah, and the Torah just sets us apart from any other nation, any other people. It's an escape when a person learns Torah. David HaMelech wrote, a person able to learn Torah, it's an escape from so many other things. One of the most inspiring things you've seen since the war started is, to their credit, Art Scroll has printed tens of thousands, by now it could be hundreds of thousands, of Gemaras, Hebrew Gemaras, for soldiers on the front. You know, can you imagine you're a soldier serving on the front? You know, what's your escape? I'm sure a lot of them say Tillim. They have their tzitzits on. But to be able to sit and learn Gemara as an escape from everything else going on out there, open up a Bava Kama, Bava Metzia, and just learn the same simple things that, you know, Cheder kids are learning. But it's such a powerful display of really appreciating what life is, what Torah is. It's our water, it's our life. We're not going to believe the flocks and just abandon our ship, our water. And Be'ez Hashem, wherever we are on Shavuos, okay? You know, different ages, different situations in life. Some people are able to stay up all night, some people aren't. Fine. But definitely to dedicate some time to Shavuos. Shavuos is all about one simple thing. We got the Torah. We want to celebrate it and to find time to learn Torah, perhaps dream, think of ideas of how I can learn more Torah, new things I want to conquer, new areas of Torah to see. You know, just like people like traveling the world. You know, I haven't been to the Far East yet. You know, that's on my bucket list. Haven't gone on the cruise yet. Well, have you seen Yerushalmi yet? Have you seen Mishnayos Taras? Have you seen Exos? All these different things, okay. Artsco hasn't come out with them and all these yet. So they came out with Pachav Yitzchak. Wow. But Baruch Hashem, there's always more and more Torah accessible and available now more than ever. And we should definitely take advantage of the world we live in the Torah that Baruch Hashem is readily available. Thank you so much. Have a good Yom Tov. Be'ez Hashem, I hope to be back next Sunday. Post Yom Tov. Okay. Huh? No.